We have with us in the studio a mental health expert, Emekolom Obianoju. She's a founder of a mental health organization that help rehabilitate people and come out of issues like this. Good to have you on the program. And
likewise, good morning.
Good morning. Should I say Happy New Year now?
You can't say that right now. Everybody's hot.
All right, walk us through looking at the inflation state of the country. Does it have any effect on the family line?
First of all, it has effects on every single person, be it individually, community, family, so even a baby, it affects the child. So the inflation state affects every single one of us, most especially the family, if I may say.
Oh, really? So now, how can an average family navigate through this period?
Oh, this period, the only thing I would say is to tell somebody watching me this morning is take it easy on yourself. Because first thing you have to understand is there are things that you have solutions for, while there are things you do not have solutions for. And if you've been able to identify what you don't have solutions for, the thing you can do is to just look for a way to calm yourself down, away from the pressure, away from anxiety, you know, that can even lead to depression. So, and also make sure that this period is time for people to cut their coats according to their material now. So if you're used to using two milk or something, making a cup of tea, now you just have to use one because of the resources at hand. You don't have to cry about why am I not using two as usual, or why will I be buying yam of 8,000 or even 10,000 right now for just a tuber of yam. If you know there's other things you can do, as a nurse, we are being taught how to manage the things we have. For instance, you have a small garden. This is the time to plant. Okay. Honestly, I know we're all saying, how can I become a farmer? I did not go to school to become a farmer. But that can just be something that you and your family...
So you don't need to go into it on a large scale level? If
you have the resources, please do. But if you do not, at this point in time, we are trying to enhance whatever resources and whatever we have right now to just live, because we all are just living and trying to manage our lives. So if you have a garden or you have somewhere you can plant pumpkin, as my mom would say, it is something. Now, pumpkin leaf is not as cheap as it come by anymore. So if you can do that just outside your house, that is something. Or the yam we're talking about, you can also do that. Just try as much as possible to get busy with your hands. Let the soil bring something this period, because they need to work themselves.
I thought you're just a clinical psychologist. I didn't know you are into agriculture too.
Yes, so we have to do what we have to be to live this period.
You have to diversify.
We have to.
So does it have any immediate effect on the family line?
Yes, it does. At this period, there's a lot of conflict. Money is a very sensitive topic, if you agree with me. It's a very sensitive topic. And during this period, there are bound to be serious conflicts between families. You see disagreement, there are constraints. A lot of people right now, especially the breadwinners, I don't mean whether the father or the mother, or there may just be a child in the house that's the breadwinner. That person right now, they're experiencing probably insomnia, difficulty in sleeping, because the person's mind is busy on how to get the best meal for the next person. So this period, it's a lot. It's a lot. It's really a lot for people.
So let's look at this issue of financial stress. And does it have any relationship with the current trend, the inflation, financial stress?
Yes.
And inflation.
Yes.
Can we separate the two?
How would you do that? There's no way you can do that.
Is it possible?
No, it's not possible.
Okay.
Because this period, a lot of persons are going through stress and anxiety, if you agree with me. What you usually get for 1 naira, we don't use naira, so let me just go to what you got for pure water before was like 20 naira, now it's 50 naira for just a sachet. So if I'm going to drink like 2 or 3 a day, 1 liter per day, 1 liter per day, the cost of it has increased. So right now, it has actually affected both psychological. A lot of people are having stress and anxiety, depression. It even gets to a level where you start having substance abuse. Okay. Because when you keep thinking and thinking of what can I do, what should I do, the next thing, some people just embrace the bottle just to find solace or should I call it inspiration as they call it?
But the bottle is not the way out.
But the bottle is definitely not the way out. The way out is always to calm down. Try as much as possible to calm down. Because without a clear mind, you can't think for a solution. You can't even find a solution. So the best thing at this point is to calm down. Enough of the stress and anxiety. I know it's not something you can apparently just avoid, but it's something you can learn. Because when something is too much of everything is bad.
Okay.
When it's too much, it's time for you to sit back and look for ways. How can I navigate throughout this period? Because it comes a time and a season, and it will pass. But we have to be alive to make sure it passes.
We have to be alive. Now,
to
just
be
recently,
alive.
the Senate has actually quickly passed the bill to improve the minimum wage. 70,000 naira, and of course that has been ascended by the president. Will it go a long way to cushion the effect of this current time?
Well, I want to sincerely appreciate them for that action. It was needed, and this shows that they also listen to the cry of the people. It was necessary. Everybody has been clamoring for an increment in the wages. Of course, yes, it has cushioned a lot of edge, a lot of family tension. It has reduced the stress and the anxiety, because now we can understand that they are listening to some extent. Even if we're not getting the 100 we're looking for, we are getting something. Okay. That money is going to go a long way for a lot of families. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big, as we say.
But so to an extent, when salaries when salary improves, cost of living also have a way of going high, because those selling in the market feel civil servants have gotten a push in their take-home pay. Yeah. There seems to be a kind of reaction. It reflects in the market. And we are still battling with insurgency. We are still battling with trying to find our feet back to farming, with insecurity ravaging and sharing at us. How do we now separate all of these so that the 70,000 naira minimum wage will go a long way to breathe in the hands of the recipients?
Okay, what I would say is, first of all, love.
Okay.
Love is the greatest of them all, love. The Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now it's not about who is getting the highest pay or who is not. It's let us live. We need to live. The people in the market, I can tell you for a fact that they understand whatever is going on. Because somebody in their house as well is also collecting minimum wage and nothing is coming out of it. Because there is no balance yet to a very large extent of the money you are earning and the money you are dispensing, you know. So everybody, for me, I feel even the market women understand. They are buying it in a very high rate, and they heard us crying. We need to have money to pay for these things, and the government heard the cry. So at this time, I just want everybody to, you know, take it down a little bit and be fair with your price, because everybody, we are just trying to survive.
Okay, let's quickly push it a little bit further now. Can you discuss the long-term mental health consequences of prolonged financial instability for parents, especially?
For parents, yes. Number one, they feel like they failed. Some of them. This feeling of failure, they failed. Their inability to play their role efficiently. For instance, a parent that believes a child should take their breakfast of tea and bread every morning. Now it becomes a challenge. Because a child that is used to having thick tea is now having something very watery. And you have to convince that child that this is what we have right now. Though the child may be understanding, but deep down there's this sense of, I have failed. I should have done better. The prayer of parents is to do more than their parents have done for them. So right now they have this issue of, you know, I have failed. They shouldn't feel that way, honestly, because you haven't. Somehow the country has almost failed every one of us. And notwithstanding, at this period, it may even have chronic anxiety and stress. Now, chronic, no longer acute. Chronic, because every now and then there is this weight on their shoulder of wanting to, what is the next meal? What would they do next? An inability to plan for the future. Before, you can meet a parent and be like, okay, what are we doing the next month, next 2 months? Now, there's a lot of uncertainty. Nobody knows what is happening in the next few months. I might even say months. Next few weeks.
No meal timetable again.
No meal timetable anymore. Nobody knows, okay, this is what we should expect, vacation this, recreation that, because it's necessary for a family to bond.
Oh, really?
Outside being busy and, you know, you have a lot of things to do, it is necessary that you have time to bond with your family. But now, you can't afford that luxury. It's now a luxury for people. You know, before we say you can stay in your house and just have a vacation. But when you're in your house, there are certain things that should be provided for it to be convenient for everybody.
This is deep. But is there any way out? Is there any mechanism that family can put in place to navigate this period?
Yes, yes. First of all, because of the financial constraint, there's issue of communication.
Okay.
A lot of families are finding it difficult to have that financial conversation, because it seems like when the conversation starts, there's this tension around, like, who are we to hold here? You're not playing your role. Even the person playing this role or a role is trying to say, I'm doing so much, you can't see. So there's this heat. So I think firstly, people should understand what is happening. That is no person's fault, and be able to have a conversation. First of all, a conversation should be had. That will help a long way to reduce the tension and make the person providing to feel appreciated, and the person receiving to feel, oh, okay, I appreciate you, but this is what I think is best. So we can all put our contributions on the table and pick what is best for the family. So I feel, yes, conversation should be had. The stress that is talked about, stress and anxiety, they should understand that this is a period that every one of us in this country is going through. It's not just particular to you or your family. So it's not something you're supposed to kill yourself on. Okay. Or overstress yourself that is not working out for me. Am I a failure, or I've not done so much for myself and my family? It's as if we are going backward instead of going forward. This is not the time to think of all that, because you're not seeing whatever the next person is cooking in their houses. You already know what's happening in yours. So you should take your time to analyze what is best for you and your family, and actually be truthful and realistic. There's no time to pretend like something huge is coming, you know, something huge and go beyond your budget. This is what's causing a lot of debt right now, because even the loan you're collecting, there's also an increment in interest rates.
Definitely, yeah.
So a lot of things are happening. This is not the time to cover up and just conversations. They need to communicate. They need to communicate, because communication will help both the receiver and the giver at this point.
Okay.
So a conversation, they should understand that the stress that they're having is going to lessen with time. They should know how to manage the resources they have and tailor it to their family, and how it can be able to, you know, spread around throughout the period before the next meal or the next wages come along. Okay.
Just of recent, someone around a place called Afuze in Onwa East, the woman was preparing meal for the family, and before she returned back from her room to get this turning stick for Gary now, the pot of soup was gone. And she cried out and nobody responded.
Nobody.
And still around one of the rural settings, a man went to the market and was crying, I don't have anything to eat. Nobody listened to him. He went back home and took his life. Now, those in the rural setting are going through the same pain that those in the urban setting are going through. Do we have a different psychological effect for the both setting, for both rural and urban setting?
No. Pain is pain, but everybody have different capacity of managing pain. Same with stress, same with anxiety. We handle issues differently, we coordinate ourselves differently, and that is why the family should understand the level this person can take and this level this other person can take, so you can support one another. No pain is above the next.
Okay.
It just depends on the capacity of a person to manage it. So now there is no even a rich man and a poor man in this sense. Everybody is experiencing it. Before we used to have the rich, the middle class, and the poor, but now it's like there is no middle anymore. You're either rich
or you're poor.
And even the rich are collecting as well.
Hmm.
They are collecting awesomely because now they have to afford their gen. They have to. We all go to the same market, they have to buy. And whatever resources they are getting is going to be double or triple whatever they are spending. So they definitely also feel it. So we all say this is one Nigeria.
Okay, quickly now, before we let you go, Nurse Obianuju, there's no country that doesn't subsidize things for their people. Subsidy is something that happens everywhere in the world. What policies should the government put in place, apart from the salary increments? What other policies can they put in place to help family manage this tension that is currently caused by the inflation?
First of all, I want security for the people. People are scared right now to even go out. How can I say everywhere is hard and yet I can't even go to work to get my job done so I can eat the next day? Security is what we are begging for. It should be security. People that we say should protect us should actually be the one protecting us. We shouldn't be running from those we are begging to protect us, because that seems to be the case right now. Security is what we are begging for, and we're also asking that this issue of, I don't want to dive into the fuel or no fuel, because it has been a very long conversation. It's almost like every government keep having a repeated argument over and over again. We're neither going forward or going backward. I just want to say that the things they know that their family needs, they should protect it, like provide it for the common man. That is all we're asking. Whatever your family needs daily, that is what the common man needs. We're only asking for a better Nigeria. For a better Nigeria. Thank you so much, Mekolam Obianuju, for always finding time to be on the show. We'd like to have you again so that we can look at other aspects of the discussion. Hope you oblige us your presence. Always. Thank you so much.